I'm going to be...
with a little more, I think that the shows are have been unusually far apart in distance and time.
Yeah.
Like they're in cities that are far from each other and multiple days and off in between.
Yeah.
And once that goes away, I think we'll all have a little more, that repetition will like bake in some of that.
Absolutely.
What was your second or your third rapid fire question?
It was your hair. So
Yeah,
do you cut your hair on tour?
I only cut it myself when it's
there or here too?
When it's shaved. If it's like longer, then I don't cut it myself.
And here's one I feel like the fans would want to know, like, what's a story or a lesson you've learned from Chester that you still carry with you into your creative space or work today?
I learned from Chester. Chester was he could just like go with his gut. Like he could just like make snap decisions very easily. And better than anybody else in the band.
Oh, wow.
And he'd commit just to like a thing.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so that's harder for me. I'm better at it now than I was 20 years ago.
I love that.
Because we were all together all the time, and I was like, oh, that's like, it's almost just like listening to your intuition or your inside voice.
It's not easy to do.
Yeah, and knowing when you're like, no, my gut says this, and it's very strong. It's a very strong.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do that.
I feel like
carry it into my space.
It's like there are things about you that have reminded me, and I hope this isn't like creepy. There are things about you that reminded me of him since the beginning. Like just certain things that you do in certain ways that you carry yourself and stuff. Like it's not stuff that people would really, I don't think, like see on stage or hear on the record, but the way you're magnetically attracted to like to get on the microphone and to like hold people's attention. Just almost like hype everybody up from the moment you show up. Chester had that kind of energy. You have that kind of energy. It's not everybody that can do that. To just like walk into the room and be like, and everybody's energy level just kind of goes like this. Like, so besides this being like our first album together, first tours together, we had firsts like you hadn't been on a helicopter. There were a bunch of shows where you and Colin were like, okay, so I've never done, that's the biggest show I've done. I've never done a show that was like this or like.
With pyro.
Never done pyro before. What were some of the other firsts? What firsts? Remind me.
First class.
First time in first class?
Yeah, first time in first class.
Love that.
For 6 hours. First time in many countries, like South America.
I had never been to Colombia.
Yeah,
we had never been to Colombia. We had never been to Saudi Arabia.
That's right. Yeah. Brazil, I was so happy.
You had never been to Brazil.
Can't wait to go back, yeah. First #1 album, first #1 single. Billboard Music like awards.
Yeah.
You know, never had that. It's a first. I'm sure the fans could think of things that I don't even.
Yeah, me too.
And that's another thing too. Like but I feel like it's just like way too much between Linkin Park and Duolingo. But like having like a journal be too much.
A third, yeah.
Having a third thing.
Between Linkin Park and Duolingo, you don't have room for a journal.
Yeah, I kept thinking like I should probably journal all this, and then I was like, all my free time is just like 7 minutes on Duolingo a night, you know. So I couldn't do that. So I can't remember all my firsts right off the bat, but.
Yeah. When you come home, okay, so all these firsts are happening.
What home?
You're not, right. when you come back to LA, and you talk to your like, you know, family, friends, etc. Like, what kind of conversations, what are they asking about?
So how was, you know, tour?
Okay, but once you get past that initial, they want to get caught up on like, what did you do? And then you get past that part where you explain what you did.
They're like, oh my God, did you hear about the drones? I don't know, it's just like, like you know.
Then it's like, like internet news. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna do now that blah, blah, blah is blah, blah, blah? And like, where are you gonna live? You still live there? You still thinking about, you know? A lot about my car. A lot of discussion about my car. Are you going to get a new car? How is your car?
How old is the Prius?
She is 11 years old. Yeah. Geriatric.
Because she's having a lot of maintenance problems now.
She's having a little...
But I love your loyalty to this car.
Hey, man. Even the headlights are, like, so dim. Like, can't even keep up with, like...
I feel like people
got, like, the cataracts. Like,
people definitely would be surprised to find out that you're still hanging on to this 11-year-old Prius.
It'll be there. It'll be for like another year or two, I think. I think she's got a lot of miles left. 140.
We'll see.
1,000. I know.
I feel like
I do have AAA just in case anything happens.
I feel like we're gonna have a
intervention.
Like a bit of, no.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your car, but I feel like the Prius has now become so much of a character that when it finally dies, like we're gonna have to have a little bit of a memorial for the Prius. Like it's gonna have to be a moment. Like, okay, everybody, it finally happened.
Yeah.
Like the battery went dead and it's not coming back.
I ordered a new battery though before it dies.
But it didn't work.
Yeah, it's defective, and so he has to order another one.
Yeah.
So he's ordering another one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the meantime.
Do you remember when Lorde first came out? Everyone was like, part of her story was she's never been outside of the country. She's never been on an airplane before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was part of her story. I feel like your never been in an airplane is this Prius. Like, she's got this 11-year-old Prius that's...
It's just so comforting. It's just, she's been with me through everything.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so funny.
We do have a lot of banter in between songs. When we talk on stage.
On the mic that the crowd can hear or on the mic that they can't hear?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Internal banter. Even with that they can't
I just want to know which one you're talking. We both.
And I was
I didn't know.
And I was just wondering if like fans could see, like, because we'll just sit there laughing sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad sometimes, like they can't hear.
Right.
Like my joke. I feel bad that they can't hear how funny my joke is. I'm just kidding. It's usually Colin or Joe, I think.
You ever been pranked on stage?
Yeah.
Like by other bands? Mm-hmm. What kind of pranks? Or what was like the best prank? Or
Muse. They
pranked you?
Yeah, because we were on tour with them. We opened up for them.
What did they do to you?
And our last show, they threw fart bombs on stage.
Oh my God.
And we couldn't smell, like I couldn't see because I was at the front and whatever. And I was just like, what the fuck? Who shat their pants? Like, this is serious. Like, it would not go, always get stronger and stronger. And then finally, I think it was Sean going like, look, you know, and then it was them just fucking laughing.
Oh my God.
And then somebody was like, they're fart bombs or whatever. And it was just like, oh my fucking God.
Dude,
it was so distracting.
That's really funny.
But I just remember getting so pissed. Like, what the fuck? Who shat their pants?
Is it? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
Yeah.
At this point, do you think that Linkin Park fans like know you?
Yeah.
You think they do? Why?
Because of things that I've seen.
The things that you've seen?
Yeah. People showing me like, shit, they know me better than I do.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, people are like deep diving, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you see that happening, you're just like, oh, they see my extensive history of being a musician and, you know.
I don't mean that.
Oh.
I just mean like your personality.
Yeah, I think we've done enough interviews.
Yeah.
To get a sense of it, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that like.
Played enough shows. Maybe not.
I don't know. I feel like we're even like still getting to know, like if I think about like Colin and I think about, you know, Dave and Joe and you know, Brad to some degree too. I feel like everybody, I mean, we know each other. We know each other, but there's also like little things that are still like just on like weird little daily.
Yeah.
Something came up about horses.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah, I like horses. I'm like into horses. You were like, as a kid or something, you were like.
I mean, I rode them. I Wasn't
Okay,
into 'em.
right? I don't ride horses. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know shit about horses. I've ridden a horse, but I'm like, don't know anything about horses.
Yeah.
Is this what you've inspired the socks today?
Hey, Brad got me these. Shout out to Brad.
There's some good socks, man.
That's it right there. Yeehaw. That's right. We always got to do something with my socks, right? Oh, last time it was my tattoo. Trust no one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still trust no one. Just kidding.
We still haven't gotten you to write in over your
We're going to do that.
the end tattoo.
Because honestly,
Please don't write in over it. Please don't do that.
just a little pen. You want to do it right now? What would you do? How would you write it? Here.
That's a good point.
How would you write it? I'm actually very curious because I've thought about this too much.
How
would you
I'd
do?
write it?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let's see.
Your own way or of, because there's two completely different fonts there.
I think it's got to be kind of like the one. I feel like it's got to be like this one. It's got to be straight. Like, I'm going to do this really badly. But like that.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even think of that. See, he's the artist here.
I think it's got to
Yeah.
be like that.
This is kind of a great representation of how he works in the studio. You're just like, I think it should kind of be like this. And you're like, oh, no shit. I've thought about this 100 different ways, in a different kind of sense. And you just come in and go,
Okay, but you're going to need to be careful.
math. And then you do that. Like, it's the genius of this fucking guy. I would have never thought to
Really?
No, I'm not even kidding.
I think that is the way. But also, that's a water-based marker, so careful with that on your shirt. It'll rub off.
I got a Mike Shinoda special.
I should have done
right
it
here.
with permanent.
Original, dude.
Should have done it with henna.
What? I'm not tensing. I'm not flexing. Yeah.
Yeehaw.
No, I'm just gonna get goofy at this point.
I did have one last thought, one last question.
Okay.
We were talking a lot about the past. We're talking about the last 4 months. What are you excited about? Well, there's things we can't talk about that we're planning for, next year. But yeah, what are you excited about?
Getting to be on the road. It's like I love so much. Writing new stuff.
Yeah.
It's always exciting. Meeting new fans in different markets is so exciting.
Markets. Different markets.
In different markets and different
I love how
fish
that
markets.
word sounds so like industry to me.
I know, gosh, it's so gross. But different, like, I want to go to
I know what you mean. I know
new
what
countries
you mean.
and stuff.
I know what you mean. We're playing some.
Oh, festivals.
We're playing some
That's-
huge cities.
That's the main thing.
Some big cities, and we're playing some really little towns, and we're playing some festivals with a lot of
Yes.
bands that
Yeah.
we haven't played with.
Yeah, I mean, our year is going to be consumed with touring, so it's hard to think other than that, of the excitement and stuff, other than the Grammys. But but I think, like, we're playing, like, Wembley. Like, that's stupid,
Yes.
in the coolest way, obviously. It's just like, what?
When I hear
Just
the
like,
name of those venues, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, holy crap, that is crazy.
Yeah. And then you
'Cause
realize-
we have not done that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I have not done that.
Yeah. And then, like, huge festivals too.
Yeah.
Those are really fun.
Super fun.
It kind of just like breaks up the, I don't know. It's just like a different type of show.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And a lot of people that you don't necessarily have never necessarily seen us play or really came to see the band. I just burped and blew it that way because I'm very polite. And so that's always exciting.
She's a lady.
Yeah. I'm really the cool, badass woman. It's very intimidating.
All right, yo.
Thank you for
Hey,
being here.
great questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't even write anything down. It was all top of my head. So you're
Really?
welcome.
What was on the paper then?
Nothing,
Nothing's on the paper?
No,
Why did you look at the paper then?
because it's my journal. Day one.
Day one, the journal.
You want these? Huh? Come and get them.
We're gonna auction them off to the fan who's the biggest fan.